ScholarOne is the online submission tracking system we use to manage content for our journals. It is a Thomson Reuters product which is widely used by over 5,000 publications worldwide. Being online means that you can access the system as long as you have internet, and you can coordinate editorial decisions with your editorial team remotely. You will be using ScholarOne to handle the peer review process of selecting and inviting external reviewers, then reviewing the manuscript and reviewer comments to submit your recommendation to the editor. If an account has not yet been created for you, contact your editorial office. You will be sent an email containing a link which will allow you to set your password and complete the registration process. Once you have logged in, you will be brought to the main menu where you have access to the various centres in ScholarOne. Each role has its own centre, and each centre contains tasks that belong to that role. This is where authors go to submit their manuscript. Once you have access, feel free to go through the submission steps to see what the submission process is like. The Reviewer Centre is where reviewers go to complete their reviews if they have accepted to do so for any manuscripts. You will be working from the Associate Editor Centre. The Associate Editor dashboard will show you all of the manuscripts that have been assigned to you and the tasks you need to perform. You will need to manage the peer review process and send your recommendation for publication. Each of these queues represents a task in the workflow. As each task is completed, the manuscript will move to the next task down until eventually out of your workflow. When a manuscript is assigned to you, you will receive an email notification. You will not be required to log in and check the system daily, as you will be prompted by email. The first place the manuscript will appear will be in the Select Reviewers queue. The number indicates the number of manuscripts that is currently in that queue. Click on the queue to view these manuscripts. You will see a summary of manuscripts in this queue. You have the manuscript ID, which you should use to refer to the manuscript in correspondence, the manuscript type, the submitting author name, and the date that the manuscript was submitted. Be mindful of the date the manuscript was submitted. We try to get a decision back to authors as soon as possible. The status of the manuscript and a list of names appear on the right-hand side. Notice that all of the names are hyperlinked. If you click on the name, an email window will pop up, which will automatically pull in the manuscript ID number. Your email address and the email address of the recipient will appear. Use this to correspond with editors or the editorial office. All of the emails delivered from ScholarOne will be recorded in the audit trail. Any response to the email will be sent to the email address you have registered with. AE stands for Associate Editor, EIC stands for Editor-in-Chief, and EPA stands for Editorial Production Assistant. Click on Take Action to perform the task for a manuscript. This will open up the submission. Action tabs are always in the top right-hand corner. The left-hand side, you will have your information tabs. Feel free to browse the information that is displayed on these tabs. The manuscript header shows a little more metadata, including the full list of authors. Just below the headers, you can see the various links that allow you to view the manuscript. HTML presents the manuscript as a single web page. PDF, the system concatenates all of the files into a single PDF. This is the recommended way of viewing the manuscript and is also the copy that is sent for peer review. All images and tables should be included in this PDF. Original files, click here to download the individual files. Abstract, this is where the author has entered their abstract. And the cover letter. Always check the cover letter. The author may sometimes indicate that the manuscript has been reviewed or submitted elsewhere, or that the research is particularly controversial or significant. External searches allows you to link out to external search engines. Notice that the tasks displayed in the manuscript header have due dates. The system will monitor the progress of the tasks and alert you whenever a task is overdue. Your editorial production assistant will also be taking a look at overdue tasks and may prompt you by email to take action. Once you've reviewed the manuscript, you will want to perform the first task of selecting reviewers. Below the manuscript header, you have the reviewer list. For a new manuscript, this list will be empty, and your task is to select some reviewers and populate this area. The system uses this number to know when to move the manuscript to the next task. You will need to select at least 2 reviewers, but for this demonstration I'm going to select at least 3. To select reviewers, you're provided with a number of search and select tools. Below the reviewer list, there is a section for author-suggested reviewers. When an author submits a manuscript, the author may include some reviewers he or she thinks are suitable for their manuscript. It is up to the editor's discretion to use these reviewers. There may be some questionable bias on reviewers suggested by authors, but of course there may also be completely valid reasons for an author to suggest reviewers for their paper. It is always important when selecting reviewers to make sure that the selected reviewer is verified. You may need to do some external searching to make sure that this reviewer is active and exists in the research community. Things like looking for publication or review history can indicate this. You may also wish to check their affiliation or institution. Quick search. If you know someone who is on the system, you can search by their name. To add your reviewer, click on the checkbox and click on Add. To begin a new search, click on New Search. The Related Papers search will list authors and reviewers of similar papers which have been submitted to the journal before. This becomes more useful as a journal ages, as there will be more content to search. The Auto Suggest tool automatically lists the keywords that the author has selected during submission. Select a keyword and click on Search. This should pull up a list of reviewers who have this keyword associated with their account. Advanced Search is a search tool that is mostly used. You can see the fields that are available for you to search by. If you click on Pick next to Keywords, this should open up the entire list of keywords listed in the journal. You can then search the database for any reviewers who have selected that keyword to be associated with their account. Select the keyword and click on Search. If you want to further refine your search, you can also add filters, for example, the reviewer activity. You can limit the results to reviewers who have completed at least 1 review in the last 12 months. And then click on Search. Some statistics are collected to give you an idea of reviewer performance. If you click on the magnifying glass, you can see further detail on the reviewer history. You also have access to any author history and a list of the manuscripts that they may have been associated with. Account information will show you the author's affiliation. Again, to select your reviewer, just click on the tick box and then click on Add. Notice that the Action tab has now changed from Select Reviewers to Invite Reviewers. This is because the system recognises that you are meeting the number of reviewers required to make decision. If we look back at the Associate Editor dashboard, you can see that the manuscript has moved to the next task. Only invite the number of reviews required at any given time. Avoid inviting the entire list of selected reviewers so that we do not end up wasting reviewer time when we only require 2 to make a decision. Of course, it is inevitable that reviewers may not respond or will decline your invitation. We do not expect you to check the system on a daily basis to see if reviewers have or have not responded. Instead, we can use the system to help us manage this process by using the alternate reviewer function. In the order column, you can order your reviewers using the drop-down list. Select the first 2 reviewers and then save the rest as alternates. Always remember to save. You will see that the alternate reviewers have been separated out from the list. Invite all reviewers to send the invitation out to the first 2 reviewers. A new window will open. You will be able to edit the template if you wish to. The template includes the abstract and links that allows the reviewer to respond directly to the system, which will automatically update their response. Click on Invite All to send the invitation letter. After you've selected and invited your reviewers, hopefully the next time you will need to take action will be when the manuscript has received the 2 reviewer comments and your recommendation is needed. You will notice that the reviewer status has changed to Invited. The Action tab has also changed to Assign Reviewers. This means that you can leave the manuscript until the reviewer has responded to your invitation. Once reviewers have agreed to review the manuscript will move into the Awaiting Reviewer Scores queue. Remember that every task in the system has had a deadline set. If a reviewer is overdue in responding to the invitation, they will be automatically declined by the system and the next alternate reviewer will be invited. This helps keep the ball rolling with the peer review process. Of course, the reviewer list may sometimes be exhausted. If more reviews need to be added to the list, the system will move the manuscript back to your Select Reviewers queue. Your editorial assistant will also prompt you by email if action needs to be taken. We aim to complete the whole external peer review process within 14 days. Click on the Awaiting Reviewer Scores queue to view the progress of the peer review. Here you can see that one reviewer has already completed their review and we are still waiting for the other reviewer to submit. On some occasions, particularly if a manuscript has been with us for a while, you may need to expedite the manuscript by changing the number of reviews required to make decision. This will help move the manuscript on. Change the number and click on Save. We have told the system that we only need 1 review to make a decision. This has moved the manuscript to the Make Recommendation task. Usually you will be prompted by email when a recommendation is needed for a manuscript. You can view the submitted reviews on the right-hand side. Click on View Review to open up the comments from the reviewer. You will be able to see the reviewer comments to the editor and to the author. Comments to the author will be included in the decision letter. At the bottom of the reviewer score sheet, there is an area where editors can rate the reviewer based on timeliness and quality. The highest rating is 3 for each area. If the reviewer scores top marks for both areas, they are eligible for CME credit. Click on Save to save your rating. Once you've reviewed the reviewer comments, click on Close Window and you are ready to send your recommendation. There is a text area here that allows you to write comments to the editor-in-chief, as well as comments which can be directed to the author. When you are ready, select your recommendation and click on Submit. You've successfully sent your recommendation to the editor-in-chief, who will now be able to send the decision letter. You will notice that the action tabs no longer appear. If we go back to the Associate Editor dashboard, the manuscript has flowed out of your workflow and into the Editor-in-Chief's workflow. And that concludes the peer review and recommendation process.